Welcome to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. Hey, who lifts your ceiling? Welcome back to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. My name is Kale Houser. Happy Friday to you, the conclusion of another week. I hope it was a fantastic week for you. I hope my previous episodes have added something for you definitely to think about, but hopefully some improvement that you can make in your life or some change that you can make your business, your people, you as a leader better. Because that is the point of this podcast, is to give you those small tips, tricks, and techniques, hard lessons learned, stories that I've encountered and experienced myself in order to impart to you to make you the most amazing leader and create the most amazing teams as you possibly can in your business. One of those is... So I was listening to the 10X Rule by Mr. Grant Cardone recently, and if you have not read this book, holy smokes, what are you doing with your life? This needs to be absolutely on the number one next book on your bookshelf that you pull off. This needs to be at the top of your Amazon list. If you are an Audible type of a person, absolutely download it right now and start listening to it. You will not regret it. There are so many nuggets of wisdom dropped in this book that it's just, you could spend the next 15 hours just talking and having discussions on the first 2 chapters of that book. But one of the things that Grant Cardone says is, and he asked this question of who lifts your ceiling? And it got me thinking, I'm like, man, that's an interesting way to put it. Because it's at its core, it's who around you makes you better, right? But by putting it of, who lifts your ceiling, he creates that visual of, you're in this room and you may be cramped. You may be feeling that you are just maxing out in that environment. Think about somebody that's put in a cage or, I forget what it is, the analogy of, only growing to, the volume of your own surroundings. But, think about first stepping out when that ceiling is raised and you can stretch to your full potential. Because that's ultimately what Grant Cardone is talking about there, is getting around people, getting in an environment that actually improves your ceiling, raises your ceiling. And how many people in your world do that for you? Do you have anyone in your world that does that for you? And this could be across multiple aspects of your life. This could be physically, who challenges you to get better and eat better. This could be relationally, who challenges you to treat your partner better, to talk more positively or encouraging to people around you. This could be in your business, financially, marketing, sales. Who increases your ceilings in those different areas? Because it's probably not one person for all of them, just because we're not capable of that. We're not good at everything. We can be really great encouragers in all those different things, and that kind of touches on every area. But they don't necessarily raise your ceiling. Does that make sense? They don't show you they don't increase your awareness of what's possible for you. Instead of looking up and seeing that ceiling about 4 inches above your head, instead seeing it like, holy smokes, this is a 16-foot ceiling. And I've got a long way before I max out here. The point of a person that lifts your ceiling is they challenge you. They challenge what you think is possible. They challenge what you see as the top limit of your ability, of your potential, of your achievements, of what you see as possible in your life. They lift and raise that ceiling of possibility, and they challenge you to go after it. They challenge you not only to see it, to realize that the finish line isn't right here. The finish line is down there of what's so much more capable of. I can run another 10 miles. I can run another marathon. I can run an ultra marathon, not just my little jog around the block. Who lifts your ceiling? And what ceilings need lifting in your life? What ceilings do you see right now that you're like, boom, boom, you keep running into the top of? You try to stretch up, but bam, you just keep hitting your head. Because there's that limit that's holding you down. So who lifts your ceilings in your life? Who expands your perspective to see outside of yourself and basing all your future potential achievement based on your past experiences and successes or failures? Who allows you to see the perspective of that ceiling is way up there? You don't need to crouch anymore. You don't need to hunch. You don't need to bow your head. Stand tall. Get after it. Because the person that lifts your ceilings in whatever area it is, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, economically, they are changing what you believe is possible. That is ultimately what somebody that lifts ceilings does, is they change the belief of what that person thinks is possible in their life. We all have absolute limiting beliefs on our life. We're born with them. We're taught them. Especially if you went to public school, you were taught them. There are things you do and things you do not do. Depending on what community you went to school in, or if you went to a private school or had tutors or anything, you were taught in 1,000 different subtle ways of what you were capable of. I went to a regular community public school. It wasn't poor, it wasn't rich. Very, very middle class. Not once was I ever taught that I could be a billionaire. Not once was I ever taught that if I wanted to be an astronaut, or if I wanted to own or create a space shuttle company, no one ever said that to me. They did say, hey, you can go to college if you work really hard. To do what? Like they put these ceilings. Because my ceiling, right, as a little kid, especially little boys, I want to be a fireman. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a police officer. Little women, little girls. I want to be a princess. I want to be, whatever other little girls want to be. I don't have daughters. I'm sorry. And I didn't have any sisters. But our ceilings as children it's the universe. We haven't been taught or learned yet to hit our head. We haven't hit our head enough. Just like the elephant that has a rope tied, they stop pulling on it to where you don't even need to have the rope around their foot anymore. But you need people around you that their ceilings are so much higher than you, and they're willing to say, your ceiling is high too. Your ceiling is not right there where your head's at. Your ceiling's way up here, man. You are capable of so much more. The possibilities are truly endless. But we have to be able to see it. We have to be able to even conceive of it in order to go after it. And that may be a step of faith of trusting that person. Like, I don't see it right now, but I see that you've got what I want, and I don't know how I'm going to do that or replicate that success or achieve those things, but I'm going to trust you when you tell me that you see that in me. Does that make sense? I know that's a lot of you me's, you me's, you me's. But you step out in faith and listening to that person that's trying to pump you up, that's trying to, breathe that encouragement into you and change your world and your perspective and the reality of what's possible for you. To where you step out and you eventually, maybe slowly at first, you look up and go, man, this whole time, that ceiling was all an illusion that I've held there by my own fears, my own failures, my own insecurities. Until finally you reach up and you punch right through, or you push that up. So who's lifting the ceilings in your life? Do you have just one person that's maybe lifting that one area? But over here, in this little bit darker corner, you're still just pop, pop, pop. Your head's just banging on that ceiling. Or that ceiling's getting lower and you're crunching down lower and lower. It's time to find that help. It's time to seek that mentor, seek that coach, seek that person that can change your perspective, if that's what you want. Because I guarantee you, ceilings, they don't raise on their own. Society doesn't raise them for us. If anything, they shrink them. If anything, those ceilings get a little bit shorter every year, whether it be with inflation, whether it be with community relations, whether it be with the environment and what's going on. Like all kinds of external factors actively try to lower our ceilings. Other people. But if you find and get in the right environments, around the right people, you can't help but change your perspective and see a whole new world of possibility. And your ceiling just goes shoo, to the moon, right? Make sense? I hope it does. I hope this is encouraging to you. I hope you take this opportunity to really analyze and look, like, what are your limiting beliefs that keep you crouched down, that keep you from stepping forward, that keep you from learning that thing, doing that thing, creating that thing. And if you need to, who can you go to that will help you change that? And if that's me, please reach out. Please DM. Shoot me an email, kale@kalehouserleadership.com. I would love to help you. Minimum, have a discussion about it. Leave a comment, shoot me a DM. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Hugely helpful. If you found this helpful, I appreciate you. No matter where you're at in the world, have a fantastic afternoon and a fantastic weekend. Bye.